Hello, everyone, and welcome back to PI Vanguard. I'm Jamie Shepard, a licensed Florida private investigator with more than 30 years of investigative experience in criminal defense, insurance investigations, and surveillance. Throughout my career, I've learned one thing that every successful investigator eventually discovers. The best surveillance isn't accomplished by having the most expensive equipment, it's accomplished by having the right equipment when you need it. Today, I'm going to walk you through what I consider to be the essential equipment every private investigator should own and carry. Some of these items are obvious, while others may surprise you. More importantly, I'll explain not only what they are, but why they're important and how they'll make you a better investigator. Throughout this video, I will provide links to most of the equipment I use and will tell what features are important. Let's get started. A digital video camera with the highest possible optical zoom. This piece of equipment will capture most of the evidence that you will collect, especially early in your career. You cannot be too frugal here, and not just any video camera will do. And it should be a quality digital video camera with the highest optical zoom you can afford. Notice that I said optical zoom, not digital zoom. Digital zoom simply enlarges the image electronically, reducing clarity and pixelating the image. Optical zoom physically magnifies the subject using the camera's lens, allowing you to maintain image quality. Many surveillance opportunities happen from hundreds of feet away. If you're parked too close, you're more likely to be detected. A powerful optical zoom lets you remain farther away while still capturing usable video. I would not get any video camera without a 20 times optical zoom. 30 times is ideal. Other features you should have are image stabilization. This maintains video steadiness. A removable SD card and the time and date that stamps onto your video. At the absolute least, you need a camera that stores the date and time as metadata. Most current video software will import the metadata and add the time and date to your final video. I recommend having two cameras, as it is not unheard of to have one malfunction throughout your day. I usually have a primary camera and a less expensive backup camera. As a real-life example of why it is important to have two cameras, I worked a surveillance case many years ago and had put my primary camera inside a backpack as I followed my subject on a beach boardwalk during a holiday weekend. As I passed a man on the crowded boardwalk, he accidentally hit my shoulder and knocked my bag to the ground. It broke my primary camera, and if I did not have a backup camera, it would have been the end of my assignment. Luckily, I was able to retrieve my second camera from my vehicle and finish out the case, which ended up being very helpful to my client. The primary camera that I use is a Sony FDR-AX5 III. This is not a cheap camera, but deals can be found at the right times. The great thing about this camera is the image stabilization. It stabilizes the optical lens and does not do it digitally, making the picture clearer and more natural. My backup camera is a Sony HD-RC-X405. It is about half the price of the X5 III, but it is a great secondary camera with all the features you will need. You can use the links below to review and order one or both of these cameras. I will tell you that if you cannot afford the X5 III to start, at least be prepared by purchasing the X405. The next items that I would recommend are discrete hidden cameras. There are many occasions where a traditional handheld camera simply isn't practical. Hidden cameras built into everyday objects or discrete body-worn systems can provide another angle while keeping your movements natural. However, always remember that privacy laws vary from state to state. Make sure you understand what is legal where you're working, and never place hidden cameras where people have a reasonable expectation of privacy. Used appropriately and legally, these cameras can be incredibly valuable. Here are some of the discrete camera devices that I have. The LawMate 4K Ultra HD Key Fob Covert Camera. There are cheaper models of this device you can get, but for overall quality and functionality, this one is great. If you use an Android phone, you can connect directly to your phone via a built-in P2P for convenient wireless control from anywhere within a 50-foot range. This helps when you want to hide yourself but can place the fob down and still view the camera image in real time. It has 4K resolution and can be controlled using an app. I have used this camera in many places like grocery stores, libraries, and car dealerships to get video that a lot of other investigators do not. Next up is the DuboCam Mini Camera Full HD 1080p Tiny Video Camera. This camera is great for attaching to clothing. It has a great design that puts the camera within a button on a shirt. The video is stored directly to a mini SD card, so no concerns about Wi-Fi connectivity. It also has a remote control you can hold in your pocket and has the option to use a built-in motion sensor which intelligently starts video recording when movement is detected. The only possible downfall with this device is that you must be facing the surveillance subject at all times, but in some situations it would be ideal. I also have the FANGJIE 1080p mini hidden pen camera. I don't use this device in all situations, but this camera has a 150-minute long battery life. Video is recorded directly to the device, so no need for a Wi-Fi connection. And it's compatible for both Mac and PC users. A nice detail is that it actually works as a pen to help prevent detection as a camera. It works as both a still shot camera and video recorder. And lastly, I'm going to recommend the Kiewn Power Bank video recorder. This is the discrete camera device that I use the most. It has a 1080p resolution at 30 frames per second. The 120-degree viewing angle is great because this camera has no Wi-Fi connectivity and you cannot view your angle while you are recording. It also has night vision with a 32-foot range and motion detection. The device works as a power bank as well and holds a charge for a surprisingly long time. It is definitely my favorite covert camera device. I would suggest practicing with all of your covert devices to understand how far away you should be from your subject to get optimal recordings. Binoculars. Good binoculars aren't just for wildlife enthusiasts. A quality pair of 8 by 42 or 10 by 42 binoculars allows you to observe activity without constantly pointing a camera at your subject. Sometimes you simply need to know what's happening before deciding whether it's worth recording. Binoculars let you discreetly observe activity while saving camera battery life, and the quality is actually better in most cases. Brands that I recommend include the following. The Vortex Triumph HD 10 by 42 binoculars. Vortex is known for making quality high-powered scopes for rifles, and that same caliber is in their binoculars. What is great about this pair is that they are nitrogen purged, making them both waterproof and fog-proof. They are also adaptable for a tripod or monopod, which I will get into later. They carry an unlimited, unconditional lifetime warranty. The Triumph comes in a couple of different magnifications, but I have found that 10 by 42 are perfect for investigator use. If you are not looking to spend the money on the Triumph, I would go with the Bushnell Falcon 10 by 50 wide-angle binoculars. These will cost half as much as the Vortex Triumphs, but are still a solid second choice. Perfect for beginner investigators. And understanding how to effectively use a pair of binoculars is something many people do not think about. If you want some instruction on their proper use, I have included a link to a video in the description below. DSLR camera with telephoto lens. Video tells the story. Photographs provide the details. A DSLR, or mirrorless camera equipped with a telephoto lens, allows you to capture crystal clear still images that can later be enlarged, analyzed, or introduced into evidence. Keep in mind, however, that using these cameras to take shots from extremely far distances can border on the privacy protections of your subject. Some courts have found that a photographer using special long-distance equipment to bypass natural physical barriers like distances, partial walls, fences, or closed property lines can violate statutes. In most cases, you will use a DSLR camera for taking evidence photos of property damage and accident scenes. In recent years, technology and image quality of most smartphones can be just as detailed as expensive DSLR cameras. The still shot camera I use is a Canon EOS Rebel T7 DSLR camera. You can get it in a bundle with a 300mm lens and has 24.1 megapixels. It will shoot full HD videos, but again, be careful not to violate privacy laws. Tripods and monopods. Tripods come in use in a lot of situations where you don't want to hold a camera for extended periods of time. I have used them to record at large events like football games, where a subject may be at one location for a long time. Just be wary of the event that you intend to use a tripod to make sure you do not stick out. I will discuss on a later video on how to position yourself for these type of events to deflect any attention from yourself. I prefer using a monopod most of the time, and mine gets heavy use. An expandable monopod works great inside the vehicle and out. They're quicker to deploy, easier to conceal, and provide enough stabilization to eliminate shaky video during long zoom shots. Sometimes that one small accessory can dramatically improve the quality of your evidence. Portable power banks. Today's investigators rely heavily on electronic devices. Whether it's your smartphone, tablet, video camera, laptop, or other equipment, everything depends on battery power. Battery technology has improved tremendously over the years, and today's devices last much longer than they used to. But on a long surveillance assignment, there will still be days when you simply need more power. That's where a quality portable power bank becomes an essential piece of equipment. It allows you to keep your devices charged without having to start your vehicle or hunt for an electrical outlet, helping you remain discreet and operational throughout the day. You don't have to spend a fortune on one. The important thing is choosing a power bank with enough capacity and charging capability for the devices you use. I also recommend carrying more than one. If one runs out, you'll always have a backup ready to go. I mentioned this in my surveillance vehicle video, but it's worth talking about again because I've found one that works particularly well for investigators. The BLAVOR solar power bank. It's not the fastest charger on the market. It provides about 20 watts of charging power, but that's not what makes it valuable. Its biggest advantage is the built-in solar panel, which allows you to recharge the power bank when you're away from traditional power sources. While I wouldn't rely on solar charging as your primary method, it's an excellent backup feature that can really come in handy. One lesson I learned the hard way: don't leave it sitting inside your vehicle during extreme heat. Living in Florida, I accidentally left mine in the car over an entire weekend. The high temperatures caused the internal battery to swell, splitting the case open and cracking the solar panel. Since then, I always take it with me when I leave the vehicle for extended periods. It's a simple habit that can save you from replacing an otherwise great piece of equipment. A digital voice recorder. A digital voice recorder is another piece of equipment that I highly recommend every investigator carry. They're invaluable when conducting witness interviews. While most smartphones have built-in voice recording apps, they often have limitations, whether it's storage capacity, battery drain, or recording quality. I have always preferred carrying a dedicated digital voice recorder as a backup, and many times as my primary recording device. But where I think a digital voice recorder really shines is during surveillance. There are plenty of times when stopping to write notes by hand simply isn't practical, and sometimes it's impossible without missing something important. Instead, you can quickly dictate your observations as they happen. If you're working in an unfamiliar area, you can verbally record the names of businesses, street names, intersections, landmarks, and addresses as you pass them. Later, when you're writing your report, you'll have an accurate record of where you were and what you observed without having to rely on memory. Using a digital voice recorder allows you to stay focused on the surveillance while still documenting the details you'll need for a complete and accurate report. Although I could go on forever with other items that would be helpful, that wraps up my list of surveillance essentials that I believe every new investigator should consider carrying. Remember, the right equipment won't make you a great investigator, but having the right tools when you need them can make your job much easier and help you avoid missing important opportunities. I've included links to all of the equipment I discussed in this video in the description below, so be sure to check those out if you'd like to learn more. If you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you would click the like button and subscribe to the channel. I have many more videos coming that are designed to help you become a more effective private investigator, and I don't want you to miss any of them. Thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video.